Hello! I am very pleased to share with you my French experience on preventing sexual and sexist violence in nightlife, which is one of the main new challenges we have currently to tackle in cities together with the sustainable development of nightlife. I will address 3 points: the situation, the methods, and the responses. First point, the situation. Over the past year, we have seen an increasing number of reports in the media and social networks regarding sexual and sexist violence in bars and nightclubs. In Paris, a recent survey shows that 67% of women say they have been victims of sexual violence in nightlife venues. But the number of reports at the police stations and hospitals is still more or less the same. This means that there is perhaps not really an increase of violence, but a liberation of speech, which is, of course, a very positive thing. These kind of behaviors are now socially not accepted anymore. Moreover, the police and hospital data shows that around 80% of the crisis situations during nightlife, such as sexual and sexist violence, chemical submission, ethetic comas, or overdoses of ecstasy, for example, happen at private parties, such as birthday parties in apartments. So the big majority of this violence is perpetrated by relatives in the private space and not by prowlers and non-predators in the public space or in nightlife venues. Finally, nightlife venues are the most secure settings to party, which means that nightlife professionals are our main partners to tackle this situation. Second point, the methods. Fighting against sexual and sexist violence in nightlife should be addressed in a global approach for a safe, respectful, inclusive, sustainable, and attractive nightlife. Indeed, this violence is linked with other phenomena. It's linked, of course, with alcohol and drug consumption, which disinhibits the offenders and makes more vulnerable the potential victims. Sometimes this violence is made possible by using chemical submission, above all by pushing people to drink alcohol, but also sometimes by introducing drugs into the glass of the victim without her knowledge. Moreover, these cases of violence and the buzz around them have also an impact on the business, of course, and the attractivity of the territory. Finally, there is a continuum of spaces to address: the private area, the public space, the transportation settings, the nightlife venues, the social media. So, to conclude, we have to embrace a global vision and work with a cross-cutting and multi-agency approach. In Paris and other French cities like Bordeaux or Nantes, this topic is discussed within our nightlife councils with all the relevant stakeholders: municipal services, police, transportation companies, harm reduction, feminist mediation associations, bars and clubs unions, party and festival organizers, youth organization, of course, and so on. Third and last point, what can we do to reduce the situation? At least 3 things. Communication, training, and intervention, field intervention. About communication, it's important to raise awareness of the night owls, the partygoers, finally the young people, that sexual and sexist harassment is at last not acceptable anymore and is clearly an antisocial behavior we have to combat collectively. This communication should target the offenders, making them aware of the sentences they could incur. It should target the witnesses, providing them advices on how to intervene in a safe way to help a woman, and of course the victims with the information about how to receive help and support. This communication can be disseminated through nightlife-related medias and social networks and be posted in the venues and public spaces. About training, there are different stakeholders to train: the police and mediators, in order to increase their capacity to receive the victims' complaints in a kind way and to direct them to appropriate support structure. You can train the teams of the bars, nightclubs, or event organizers to strengthen their capacity of preventing violence in their venues and events by spreading a culture of caring among their customers, by showing to potential offenders that here this is not possible, and by teaching how to react in case of violence. This training session can be made for the whole team of a venue, which is the best solution for a group dynamic, but concretely it's difficult to organize. So you can also organize sessions, including professionals from different venues, with the advantage of making possible practice sharing between different teams. You can also propose training sessions to bus, taxi, and Uber and so on drivers who are often confronted with this type of situation. Anyway, one of the main lessons to teach during this training session is that you must react at the first signs to avoid escalation. Finally, about intervention, it's necessary to put in place mechanisms to act in case of violence. This means that human presence in public space at night, I mean police and mediation, is crucial to do the job. If not, nothing is possible. You can also implement locally the Ask Angela project, which offers venues of refuge in case of street harassment. I mean, the participating venues are visible from the street with a specific logo, and a victim can enter and ask for Angela, and the team immediately understands that this person is facing trouble and need help. Of course, this team must be trained before to do the job. You can also support the development of emergency application for on smartphone, such as Hands Away. So finally, there are a lot of efficient responses to implement, and sharing between cities on this solution is, of course, the best thing to do. Thank you for your attention, and bye-bye.